Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Tackle Talk. We're here today shooting this one a little late, but we're trying to get on it now. We're trying to talk about something that I've had a lot of luck with the past couple of fishing trips. This is something you can go out early morning, especially this time of the year with the fish schooling up, going after shad spawn and similar items, feeding on anything that's moving. They're wanting to chase right now, especially early morning, late afternoon. That's the easy times to get it. But midday, when you're not having a whole lot of luck, this is something you should really try. It will be to your advantage a lot of times. Sometimes it works really well, sometimes it's a really slow bite, but most of the time this time of the year, midday, it's going to be a really hard bite. But early morning, especially with these schooling fishes, if they're schooling in your area, this is a great time to use these items. Anything popping, any popper bait similar to this, it's got that cupped mouth, it's going to splash some water, it's going to rattle in there. Even with pressured fish, they're still going to feed hard, especially during the schooling time. If you see them hitting the top of the water, they're bound to hit something like that. And most people are still trying to throw these walking frogs through some covered areas. If you get something with a little more action, you're going to get a reaction bite. So I've been throwing a cupped mouth frog. It's just a popping frog, long body. I love this frog. Wore fish out on it, and it's something that's been a great couple for this time of the year. And I want to explain a couple of different ways to run these things. Rod and reel setup for this popping frog, you're obviously going to run straight braid with this because you're going to be throwing in some thick stuff. You're going to want, I enjoy a very long rod. I got a 7'7" rod, heavy, always heavy with my frogs. And you want to have something that's got a really good gear ratio. You want a fast reel on that so you can reel down on these fish and catch up with them. Most of the time they're hitting this and they're running, so you want to be able to catch up to them so you can feel the weight and set the hook really quickly, as quickly as possible anyways, so they don't have a chance to spit this out. You can miss a lot of fish with this, or you can hit a lot of fish depending on your setup. Also with this, when fish are hitting this, they fray your braid. This one's frayed. I've used it a lot. I'm about to retie it. I'm going to keep using this frog because it's still got a lot of life to it, even though it's scratched up and dinked up a little bit. I'm still going to use it. It's still got a lot of life to it. These hooks are always sharp, but I'm always going to retie with TopWater because I'm throwing in heavy matted stuff. I'm pulling through stuff, or even the fish. They're just more aggressive, bigger fish. They got sharper teeth on them right now, and they're fraying my line. And next, we're going to talk about our popper setup. I don't have one tied on now. I lost my good one, so we're about to tie this one on. But I like to run it with a braid underlay, probably about 30 pound to 50 pound test. Same with my frog, I run 50 pound braid on it. But 30 to 50 pound test braid base with a fluorocarbon, 100% fluorocarbon leader. I usually run, you can run anything from 17 to 20. I prefer 17, it's a little lighter but still kind of thick. And it allows us to walk through the water. And even if it turns all the way around, usually these hooks aren't going to grab that fluorocarbon as well. It's floating on top of the water. If you're using braid, it's going to catch it every time. with that, it's a really easy setup. You don't have to have a super fast reel, but you want something that's pretty quick, because these fish can hit this and run just as well as they can with that frog. Very important to have a good setup for these poppers. Anywhere in between. You don't just have to use a certain color popper. I picked up that one because that's the one I'm using tomorrow, but I got several different colors. Even bought a brand new Berkeley popper that I've had a lot of luck on before. Those are the main things I've been having really good luck with this time of the year. If you guys are having fish schooling in your area, I highly suggest you get on the pop and break right now. You're going to want to use some of these popping baits to throw it right on, get a really good reaction bite out of them. The only thing other than that you're going to get a really good reaction out of this time of the year is if the fish aren't pressured as bad. You're going to want to pick up a buzzbait. A bunch of people are shied away from them. I've been shied away from them, but I've seen them work here recently, and I even went out and bought a couple of these new booyahs. I had a lot of good luck with booyah. They're really cheap, but they make really good baits for me, so I'm going to throw that one on and use it as well. That buzzbait creates a popping noise across the water. It's just a little more quick, so you're going to get a bite, or they're just going to leave it alone. You're going to find out real quick if that fish wants to play ball, which is normally what I do with my crankbait midday. So that gives you that morning advantage there to wake those fish up and see if they're going to bite. So couple those three in an early morning or late afternoon situation, I guarantee you're going to come away with a bunch of bites. And remember that your setup of your rod, reel, line, your whole combo there is going to be crucial to your success, especially with your frog. Your frog is going to need that setup, or you're not going to be as successful. You're going to be missing a lot of fish if you don't have a really good setup for your frog. You're going to be fouling a lot of hooks if you don't have the proper setup with your popping baits, your walking baits on top of the water. Anything like that with treble hooks is going to foul your hooks into that if you just run straight braided line. But if you run a leader on the front of it, you're going to be way less likely. You might foul it here and there, but it's not going to be nearly as bad. But these are things that I've had a lot of really good luck on, and I hope you guys can use it. All right, guys, so I got my boat all loaded up. I wanted to add one more thing here. Just as a technique, when you're pulling these baits, even if it's the frog, the popper, a walking bait, anything, my favorite way to describe my technique is a pop, pop, pause. That is my favorite way to do it. But always remember, you can switch up your cadence. It doesn't matter how you do it. Everybody's going to have their preferred cadence that they're throwing these things. Ensure that you change it up if you're not getting bites. If you're getting bites, keep consistency with it. I'm going to try to show a short video after this of me working one of my topwater baits. Maybe you can take it out, work it the same way, have some luck. But if not, remember to switch up your cadence. When you switch up your cadence, it's like switching up your presentation. Any presentation can be good for those fish in your area. Make sure you switch it up to find out what those fish actually like. Oh, come on.
Do nothing.